Hello students, we are back again on your favorite learning platform, Learn Forward by Vidya. Today we are going to study chapter 7, that is the cropping pattern. So let's get started. Now, India experiences three primary cropping seasons, right? So India has three primary cropping seasons. So one being the Kharif season, which is from June to October, the Rabi season, which is from December to February, and the Zaid season, which is during the summers between the Rabi and the Kharif. Notably, rice is a common crop during Kharif. So we have to remember which is a common crop during Kharif is rice, while wheat dominates the Rabi, and Zaid crops bridge the gap between these seasons. However, agriculture faces a major threat in the form of water scarcity, leading to soil erosion, nutrient depletion, and decreased fertility. Sustainable practices and water management are crucial throughout the year to address these challenges. So what we are going to study is about the Kharif crops, right? About the Rabi crops and about the Zaid crops. If we talk of the season, Kharif is from June to October. Rabi is from December to February, right? And Zaid is basically between Kharif and Rabi, right? So what is the major Kharif crop? So major Kharif crop is rice. Major Rabi crop is wheat. Okay. Now, cropping patterns are the intricate tapestries that farmers weave across their fields, shaping the landscape of agricultural productivity. These cropping patterns determine the arrangements and combination of crops grown within a specific region, accounting for various factors such as climate, soil conditions, available resources, farming practices. By carefully selecting and implementing suitable cropping patterns, farmer can optimize their yields, enhance soil health, and mitigate waste. So if they take the pattern properly, then they can do all this. This section looks into various type of cropping pattern, and India's three cropping pattern season are Rabi, Kharif, and Zaid. Rabi crops are sown in winter from October to December and harvested in summer from April to June. Some of the important Rabi crops are wheat, barley, peas, gram, and mustard. So हमने कहा Rabi crops आप अक्टूबर में लगाते हैं, ठीक है? This on in October to December. The major is wheat, barley, peas, gram, and mustard. Now, though these crops are grown in large parts of India, states from north and northwestern parts such as Punjab, Haryana, HP, Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand, and Uttar Pradesh are very important in the production of wheat and other crops. Availability of precipitation during winter months due to western temperature cyclones helps in the success of these crops. So when we have precipitation in the form of rain during winters, it is really beneficial for the crops. However, the success of green revolution in Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh and parts of Rajasthan has been an important factor in the growth of above mentioned Rabi crops. So if we recall in the previous chapter, we have studied about the green revolution that happened in the production of wheat, right? So that was very important in helping these states prosper more in the wheat crop. Now let's come to Kharif crops. They are grown within the onset of monsoon in different parts of the country and are harvested in September to October. Important crops in Kharif are basically paddy, which wheat, maize, zohar, bajra, tur, moong, urad, cotton, jute, groundnut, and soybean. Some of the most important rice growing regions are Assam, so West Bengal, coastal regions, Orissa, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Maharashtra, particularly along with the Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Recently, paddy has also become an important crop of Punjab and Haryana. In states like Assam, West Bengal, and Orissa, there are paddy crops grown in throughout the year, right? So these are Oats, Aman, and Boro. These are the name of the paddy crops grown throughout the region. In between the Rabi crops and the Kharif region, there's a short season during the summer known as Zaid season. Some of the crops produced during Zaid are watermelon, muskmelon, cucumber, vegetable and fodder crops, and sugarcane takes almost a year to grow. Right? So we talked of Rabi, Kharif, and Zaid crops. Now let us understand the major cropping patterns in India. Cropping pattern worldwide encompasses a diverse array of agricultural practices employed across different regions and climate. These patterns reflect the ingenuity and adaptation of farmers in maximizing productivity while considering local conditions. From the simultaneous cultivation of multiple crops in mixed cropping to sequential rotation of crops in crop rotation and the resource partitioning of intercropping, cropping pattern aims to optimize resource utilization, sustaining soil health, and mitigating risk. These practices are found globally, demonstrating the universal importance of strategic crop planning in achieving sustainable and productive agriculture. Here is a description of major cropping patterns in the world along with their main characteristics. One is mixed cropping. In mixed cropping, it is growing two or more crops simultaneously on the same piece of land. तो mixed crop क्या करते हैं? दो या दो से ज़्यादा crop एक ही land में उगाते हैं. For example, wheat and gram और व्हीट एंड मस्टर्ड और ग्राउंडनट एंड सनफ्लावर. तो जैसे एग्जांपल है व्हीट और ग्राम को एक साथ सो किया, व्हीट और मस्टर्ड को सो किया या ग्राउंडनट एंड सनफ्लावर को सो किया. दिस रिड्यूसेस रिस्क एंड गिव्स सम इंश्योरेंस अबाउट फेलियर ऑफ वन और मोर क्रॉप्स. अगर एक क्रॉप डैमेज होगा तो दूसरा बच जाएगा, तो इसका ये एडवांटेज है. Then is crop rotation. So we have seen mixed cropping, see different crops on the same land. Then let's come to crop rotation. The growing of different crops on a piece of land in a pre-planned succession is called crop rotation. This is very important. Crop rotation बहुत अच्छा होता है land के लिए because इसकी fertility बनी रहती है. The growing of different crops on a piece of land in a pre-planned succession is known as crop rotation. Depending on the duration, crop rotation is done for different combination. The availability of moisture and irrigation facilities to decide the choice of the crop to be cultivated after one harvest. If crop rotation is done properly, then 2 or 3 crops can be grown in a year with good harvest. So crop rotation का फायदा क्या, अगर अच्छे से करते हैं तो एक साल में 2 या 3 क्रॉप का अच्छा सा हार्वेस्ट मिल जाता है. Then let's come to intercropping. Intercropping is growing 2 or more crops simultaneously on the same field in a definite pattern. तो एक ही field के अंदर एक से ज़्यादा हमने crops लगा दिए. A few roots of one crop alternate with few roots of second crop. For example, soybean and maize, finger millet and cowpea. अगर हमने क्या किया, सोयाबीन एक हमने सोयाबीन लगाया, फिर हमने मेज लगा दिया, फिर इस तरीके से हमने alternate succession में लगा दिया. So these crops are selected such that their nutrient requirements are different. This ensures maximum utilization of nutrient supply, also prevents pests and diseases from spreading to all the plants belonging to one crop input. तो हम अगर intercropping करते हैं तो उससे एडवांटेज क्या है, एक तो हमारे का उस जो न्यूट्रिएंट्स है उसका प्रॉपर यूटिलाइजेशन होता है, पेस्ट और डिजीज का अटैक नहीं रहता है, और प्लांट्स जो है अच्छी यील्ड देते हैं. Then is multiple cropping. Multiple cropping or multi-cropping is defined as planting two or even more kind of crop in the same field. It is known as polyculture. Multiple cropping को polyculture भी कहते हैं. Usually these crop species also possess overlapping growth cycle. It involves planting several crops in the same field within similar growing season. Multiple cropping is always also most common in small fields where the intention is to simply feed the family or even the community that works on the farm and trades सम ऑफ द क्रॉप्स. तो मल्टीपल फार्मिंग उन लोगों के लिए काम है कि हमने अपने फार्मर्स ने अपने घर का जो है खाना यहाँ से निकाल लिया, जो कम्युनिटी उसमें काम करती है, और थोड़ा बहुत बाटअप भी कर लिया. This kind of system usually relies on locally improved cultivators. Then let's come to soil cropping. Soil cropping में आप practice करते हो single crop को लगाते हो, a variety in a pure stand of a typical density. When a single crop is grown repeatedly on the same piece of land, it is said to be soil cropping. तो एक ही crop को एक ही land पर आप बार बार उगा रहे हो, उसे soil cropping कहते हैं. It is the agriculture technique of producing a single crop year after year on the same ground without rotating through other crops or growing many crops on the same land, which is known as polyculture. Farmers can have uniform harvest or the entire farm due to soil cropping. They can boost farm profitability by planting the most lucrative crops and using the same seed machinery, pest control and grow techniques across the entire farm. तो इसमें जो उनको फायदा कई बार होता है वो बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. 3 widely produced crops that are frequently grown used soil cropping are sugarcane, wheat and rice. तो 3 ये crops हैं जिसको आप soil cropping से उगाते हो. The choice of cropping pattern depends on a range of factors including climate, soil type, available resources, market demand, and goals of farmer on an agriculture enterprise. It is important to know that sustainable and environment-friendly cropping patterns are gaining increasing attention due to concerns about long-term agriculture productivity and environmental impacts. So if we talk of, अगर हम इसका एक चार्ट देखें कि हम लोग ने अभी पढ़ा मिक्स क्रॉपिंग, we studied crop rotation, we studied intercropping, multiple cropping. So let's have a quick recap. Mixed cropping में simultaneous cultivation of 2 or more crops on the same land. Right? इस crop rotation में sequential cultivation of different crops on the same land. अगर हम मिक्स क्रॉपिंग की बात करें, यहाँ पे मैक्सिमम रिसोर्स यूटिलाइजेशन होगा, रिस्क नहीं रहेगा क्रॉप फेलियर का, और प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ जाएगी। क्रॉप रोटेशन में सॉइल फर्टिलिटी बढ़ती है, पेस्ट कंट्रोल नहीं होता, ऑप्टिमाइज होता है न्यूट्रिएंट यूटिलाइजेशन। इंटरक्रॉपिंग में हम एक साइमल्टेनियसली दो या दो से ज़्यादा क्रॉप एक ही फील्ड में उगाते हैं, जिससे रिसोर्स हेल्प करता है और मैक्सिमम लैंड यूज होता है, डाइवर्सिफाई करते हैं इनकम सोर्सेज में। अगर हमने कहे आप दो क्रॉप का नाम बताइए जो इंटरक्रॉपिंग से होता है, तो अगर हम देखें कॉटन और ग्राउंडनट या कॉटन और मूंग या पैडी एंड ब्लैक ग्राम, ऐसे मल्टीपल क्रॉपिंग आपने एक ही लैंड पे दो से ज्यादा क्रॉप लगा दी है, जिससे आपको फेवरेबल एग्रीकल्चर कंडीशन मिल रही है और प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ रही है। सोल क्रॉपिंग में आप एक ही क्रॉप को उगाते हैं ऑन अ पर्टिकुलर फील्ड, एंड यू आर टेकिंग द रिस्क, ऑलमोस्ट यू टेकिंग द रिस्क, बिकॉज इफ द एंटायर क्रॉप इज आई मीन vulnerable to any kind of attack, it can take away the entire crop harvest. But in sole cropping we just cultivate a single crop on a piece of land during a specific cropping season. Now let's come to the next page. Next page, and if we talk about the India, if we talk about the country India, it is a home to the diversity of crops, reflecting the country's varied agroclimatic zone. While the mentioned Rabi, Kharif, and Zaid seasons cover most crops, India boasts an astonishing number of crop varieties. For example, in northeastern state of Meghalaya, a unique and traditional agroforestry practice called zoom cultivation is prevalent. In this method, farmers rotate their crops across different plots, allowing for natural regeneration and maintaining the biodiversity. Now, if I am growing a crop, then what are the factors that will help me determine my cropping pattern? There are many, one being the climate. Climate कैसे matter करता है? Climate change affects agriculture in a number of ways. For example, changes in average temperature, rainfall, humidity, and extreme climate extremes, changes in pests and diseases, changes in atmospheric carbon dioxide and ground level ozone concentration, changes in the nutritional quality of some foods, and influence it, they all influence the choice of crops suitable for a particular region. So climate बहुत affect करता है, जितना वहाँ का टेम्परेचर है, क्या ह्यूमिडिटी है, क्या क्लाइमेट के एक्सट्रीम है, क्या उसका एटमॉस्फेरिक लेवल है, क्या उसका ओजोन कॉन्सेंट्रेशन है, इससे आप जो भी क्रॉप लगा रहे हैं उस पर बहुत असर पड़ता है। देन इज अ सॉइल टाइप, वी हैव स्टडीड ऑल टाइप्स ऑफ सॉइल, ब्लैक सॉइल, रेड सॉइल, लैटराइट सॉइल। तो सॉइल जो है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती है, बिकॉज एक रीजन का जो क्रॉपिंग पैटर्न होता है वो सॉइल, नेचर ऑफ सॉइल डिटरमिन करती है। अगर सॉइल फर्टाइल है तो आपका क्रॉप जो होगा, हार्वेस्ट होगा, बेटर होगा। एडाप्टिव कंडीशंस फॉर द growth and development of various crops, they vary. Different types of soils have varying nutrient levels, water holding capacity, drainage characteristics, which impact the crop selection and adaptability. If we talk of water availability, so कौन से reasons है जिससे cropping pattern determine करता है? One is your climate, second is the soil type, then is water availability. Irrigation facility जितनी अच्छी होगी उतना अच्छा आपका crop होगा, and it may vary from crop to crop. Then is your market depends on the farmers, they consider the market demand and then they grow the crop accordingly for better profit. Then are the farming practices, जो आप practice करते हो, जो मशीनरी आप यूज करते हो, इक्विपमेंट यूज करते हो, लेबर यूज करते हो, वो भी आपके क्रॉपिंग पैटर्न को डिटरमिन करता है। फिर फार्म साइज, कितना बड़ा फार्म है आपका, वो भी आपको हेल्प करता है। फिर गवर्नमेंट की पॉलिसीज, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट बहुत सारे ग्रांट्स देती है फार्मर्स को बेटर प्रोडक्टिविटी के लिए, वो बहुत मैटर करता है। क्रॉप की सूटेबिलिटी और यील्ड पोटेंशियल, द अडेप्टेबिलिटी ऑफ क्रॉप्स टू the local condition and the potential yield in a particular region are important factors which is considered for selecting the cropping pattern. Then is the pest and disease management. The prevalence of pests and diseases in a region can influence the choice of crop and need for crop rotation or intercropping to manage these challenges. Then is farmers' knowledge and experience. The knowledge, skills, and experience of farmers in a particular region also influence the selection of crops, because if the farmer is educated, he can pick up something which is very good for the soil and he can pick up better techniques for better harvest. But if the farmer is ignorant, the farmer is an illiterate person, then he may just bank on the knowledge he has got from others, but in case he is technically skilled, the harvest can be better. Now let's come to the challenges to agriculture. Challenge क्या होता है? बहुत सारे चैलेंज आते हैं फार्मर्स को। लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड दैट एग्रीकल्चर एक मेजर कंट्रीब्यूटर है इंडिया के इकोनॉमी को, और काउंट करता है 18% ऑफ द कंट्रीज जीडीपी। इट प्रोवाइड्स एम्प्लॉयमेंट टू अराउंड 50% ऑफ इंडियाज पॉपुलेशन, रैपिड एडवांसमेंट इन टेक्नोलॉजी and revolutionizing the agriculture sector in India, but the domain still faces several challenges that impact its productivity and sustainability. क्या की challenges? पहला challenge है lack of access to credit and finance, कि access ही नहीं मिलता। Small and marginal farmers often face difficulties in accessing credit and financial services. जो small और marginal farmers होते हैं ना, उनको दिक्कत क्या आती है? उनको दिक्कत आती है कि पैसा नहीं मिल रहा या फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज नहीं मिल पा रही है। ये जो लिमिटेड अवेलेबिलिटी है अफोर्डेबल क्रेडिट का, इसकी वजह से ये ज़्यादा इन्वेस्ट नहीं कर पाते हैं मॉडर्न फार्मिंग इक्विपमेंट की वजह से और क्वालिटी सीड खरीदने के लिए, जिसके वजह से इनकी जो प्रोडक्टिविटी है वो बहुत हैम्पर होती है। देन इज अ स्मॉल लैंड होल्डिंग। एवरेज फार्मर्स जो हैं वो स्मॉल लैंड होल्डर्स होते हैं, इनके पास छोटा मोटा एक लैंड होता है जो फ्रेगमेंटेड होता है और अनइकोनॉमिकल फार्मिंग प्रैक्टिसेस पता उनकी होती हैं। अब इसकी वजह से चैलेंजिंग ये होता है कि इनके पास मॉडर्न एग्रीकल्चर मेथड नहीं है, टेक्नोलॉजीज नहीं है, जिसकी वजह से लो प्रोडक्टिविटी होती है। उसके बाद जो उनकी फार्मिंग प्रैक्टिसेस है वो आउटडेटेड है और इनके पास ना नॉलेज है ना पैसा है नए प्रैक्टिस को सीखने के लिए, जिसकी वजह से फार्मिंग में नई एडवांसमेंट्स जो टेक्नोलॉजी में आते हैं दे कैन नॉट इनकॉर्पोरेट दैट। देन इज वाटर स्केर्सिटी। वाटर जो मेन फूड है क्रॉप्स के लिए, अगर वो स्केर्स हो, अगर वो सिर्फ रेनफॉल पर डिपेंडेंट हो, तो उससे फार्मर्स को बहुत प्रॉब्लम आती है। तो वो जो बेसिकली वाटर मैनेजमेंट एक क्रूशियल पॉइंट, एक क्रूशियल सिस्टम होना चाहिए, बिकॉज अगर वाटर मैनेजमेंट अच्छा होगा तो यील्ड अच्छा होगा, पर मेजरली फार्मर्स के लिए ये बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज होता है। देन सॉइल डिग्रेडेशन, लैंड इरोजन। हमने इतने सारे क्रॉपिंग पैटर्न पढ़े, तो अगर इतने क्रॉस बार बार सॉइल में लग रहे हैं तो सॉइल की जो फर्टिलिटी है ऑब्वियसली दैट विल नॉट एनहांस, इट विल डिटेरियोरेट। So improper land use practices, excessive use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides। और सॉइल की फर्टिलिटी सिर्फ सॉइल में क्रॉप लगा के नहीं कम हो रही है, हम बहुत सारे उसमें केमिकल्स डाल रहे हैं, पेस्टिसाइड्स डाल रहे हैं, और उसके बाद बहुत डिग्रेडेशन हो रहा है, सॉइल की डिग्रेडेशन हो रही है, इरोजन हो रहा है, जिसकी वजह से सॉइल की फर्टिलिटी कम होती है, वहाँ पे बहुत सारे पेस्ट और डिजीजेज अटैक होते हैं, जिसकी वजह से एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्टिविटी कम होती है, जो कि लिए फार्मर्स के एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है। फिर उसके बाद आया इन एडिक्वेट एग्रीकल्चर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, इनसफिशिएंट स्टोरेज। अब हमने हमारी क्रॉप हार्वेस्ट हो गया, अब स्टोरेज फैसिलिटीज नहीं है, कोल्ड चेन फैसिलिटीज नहीं है, इनएडिक्वेट रूरल रोड्स है, लिमिटेड एक्सेस टू मार्केट कंट्रीब्यूट टू द पोस्ट हार्वेस्ट लॉसेस। तो ये मेजर लॉस होता है। फार्म अच्छा हार्वेस्ट के बाद भी अगर ये प्रॉब्लम्स हैं तो दिक्कत आती है कि हम स्टोर नहीं कर सकते, हमारे पास एडिक्वेट रूरल रोड्स हैं नहीं है, प्रॉपर रोड्स नहीं जिससे हम ट्रांसपोर्ट करें, और मार्केट्स का एक्सेस नहीं, जिसकी वजह से पोस्ट हार्वेस्ट इश्यूज आते हैं। दीज इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर गैप्स एंड add to the cost of production and limit farmers' ability to fetch fair prices for their produce. Now, market volatility and price fluctuation. Farmers in India often face price volatility due to lack of effective market linkages, intermediaries, and price information. This leaves them vulnerable to price exploitation and uncertain returns of their investment. Now, they cannot predict that this is what I've invested, this is what I've got. No, this cannot be predicted because of the market fluctuations. Now, let's come to the climatic change and natural disaster. Now, anything that is related to climate is not predicted by anybody in advance. So, this again, in case they have floods, they have cyclones, they have droughts, they actually lead to a lot of loss to farmers, and it evens in crop losses, livestock mortality, and increased vulnerability for the farmers. So this is about the problem. Then the next problem is the limited access to technology and research. Now they are not educated, they have limited access, they don't have every facility available, because they are not knowledgeable, they are not trained, they don't have access to affordable technology, which is a major challenge for them. Then lack of farmers empowerment. Farmers' voices and representation in policy making process are often inadequate. Restricted farmers empowerment and may involve result in policies and initiatives that may not address specific challenges effectively. The present challenge that plague Indian agriculture are limited knowledge and insufficient infrastructure, especially in rural areas. Problems related to lack of infrastructure such as irrigation, market, and transport add huge cost to farmers' operation. In addition, there are no proper delivery system. There are several schemes to bring development to agriculture, but this is no effective delivery mechanism that can improve productivity, reduce cost, or increase price realization at the grassroots level. Moreover, without government support, the issues only worsen. Thus, corporate farming could be a solution to the Indian agriculture sector, but it needs serious consideration, innovation, and better policies so that neither the business houses nor the farmers may incur huge losses. So this is all about the chapter. Let's immediately come to the assessment. What are the three cropping seasons in India? The three cropping seasons in India: Rabi, Kharif, and Zaid. Now, which of the following is a major Rabi crop? We talk of the major Rabi crop, right? So we have studied the Rabi crop is your wheat, right? What is the significance of western temperature cycles for Rabi crops in India? As I've told you that the western disturbance, they provide winter precipitation, which is really good for the crops. Now, the season of Zaid crop is the summer season. What does intercropping aim to achieve? Intercropping aims to achieve planting now maximum resource utilization, growing a single crop repeatedly, sole focus on most lucrative crops, or planting different crops sequentially. Now, the main aim is maximum planting different crops sequentially. Then what is the primary focus of sole cropping? Maximizing yield of a specific crop. Let's come to true false. Crop rotation helps maintain soil fertility and prevents pest buildup. If we talk of crop rotation, what does crop? It helps soil fertility. Yes. Mixed cropping involves growing a single crop repeatedly. No. Water scarcity is not a significant challenge. False. Sole cropping focuses on maximizing the yield of a specific crop. Yes. The said season falls between Rabi and Kharif season. Yes. Multiple cropping involves planting only one crop in a year. No. Farmers in India often face price volatility due to effective market linkages. Yes. Now let's come to the fill in the blank. Crop rotation is a sequential cultivation of different crops on the same piece of land. Lack of access to credit and finance is a challenge for small and marginal farmers in India. Mixed cropping reduces the risk of crop failure by cultivating two or more crops on the same field. Zoom is a traditional agroforestry practice in Meghalaya involving crop rotation and natural regeneration. Climatic changes affects agriculture through changes in average temperature, rainfall, humidity, and climate extremes. Sole cropping involves planting a single crop variety in a pure stand or at a typical density. Now let's come to the question answers. Question answers in brief. Question number 1, explain the importance of crop rotation in maintaining soil health. Right. The main importance of crop rotation. We talked of all the pattern of crops. So the first question is, what is the importance of crop rotation? When we do crop rotation, what is the importance of crop rotation in when we do crop rotation? The advantage is that we can have sequential cultivation of different crops on same land. It helps in maintaining the soil fertility, it prevents the pest and disease buildup, and it optimizes the nutrient utilization. Let's come to the second question. The second question is, what are the factors influencing the choice of cropping patterns in India? There are many factors that influence the crop pattern in India. The one being climate, second being soil type, the third being water availability, the fourth being market demand, the fifth being farming practices, sixth being farm size, then government policies, crop suitability and yield potential, pest and disease management, and farmers' knowledge and experience. Let's come to the third question. What are the characteristics of intercropping, and provide an example of crops that can be intercropped? Now, if we talk of crop patterns, if we talk of intercropping is basically the simultaneous cultivation of two or more crops in the same field, which help in resource partitioning among crops and maximizes the land use and also diversifies the income sources. The crops that have gone through intercropping are cotton and groundnut, cotton and more, paddy and flat gram. Now, the next question is about the climate. How does climate change impact agriculture, and what measures can farmers take to adapt? Now, if we talk of climate, climate has a major role on the cropping pattern, because the average temperatures, the rainfall, humidity, climate extreme help in deciding what kind of crops are grown in that area. So all these patterns are basically the deciding factor for growing the particular crop in area. So the crops are now grown as per the patterns of the temperature, rainfall, humidity, and climate extreme. Now let's come to the next question, the answer in detail. The next question is, discuss the agricultural patterns and challenges faced by people of state of Bihar. Now, if we talk of Bihar particularly, Bihar is an area wherein it's a fourth largest producer of vegetables and fruits, right? Bihar is near the basin of Ganga, so it has a lot of irrigational facility. And in this, if we talk of the challenges faced by people of Bihar are that that they are not having appropriate knowledge, they are not skilled, they don't have appropriate machinery, because of which they lag behind. Explore the impact of inadequate agriculture infrastructure of post-harvest losses and farmer income. The impact of inadequate agriculture infrastructure is that once the harvest is ready, the farmers don't have proper storage areas. The rural roads are a major challenge for the farmers to reach to the market. Then is the market access to the market. All these three things are the major problems which the farmer faces after the harvest. Now, elaborate on the challenges faced by small and marginal farmers in accessing credit on the agriculture's activities. The small and marginal farmers are the ones who do not have access to all the credit and financial services. The limited availability of affordable credit restricts their ability to invest in modern farming equipment and quality seeds and the fertilizers, hampering their productivity. The farmers don't have enough money, they don't have enough credit available from the market, they don't have that individually, they don't have that credit limited available, because of which they are not able to invest a lot in the farming equipment and in procuring quality seed, which finally hampers their productivity. So this was all about the questions. I hope we had learned everything about the farming and the cropping pattern. Happy learning.